what are the sort of touchstones, if you will? What are you looking for when you interview a new client as to what vehicle, what estate planning vehicle or financial planning vehicle, if you will, might be best for them?
Well, a lot of times it really begins and ends with what is the client trying to accomplish, and finding out as much as you can on the front end about not only the client and their assets, where they, whether they have property here in Georgia or whether they may own property in Florida or in the Northeast, but also about their family and the strengths of and capabilities and wishes of their family. And so I think it depends on, what they're trying to accomplish, what they view as the role or how they wish to pass on that wealth. So if they were to say, look, I'm relatively young, I have 2 children and a spouse, then that's a very different discussion from someone who has, who's in their late 60s, has built a big business and is trying to figure out how to pass that down to their children, or just deciding whether to sell it or not. And so what I look for in terms of, recommending a will versus a trust, kind of like what Caroline was saying, is a will's a one-time thing. So if something were to happen to you, we're going to divide up your assets according to your instructions in the will. I'm going to give my spouse the house and make sure they're provided for. They may get all the assets, or I may make the division. Spouse gets a certain amount and my children get another amount. A trust, on the other hand, says, look, here's how I want these assets to be managed over a period of time. Let's let the surviving spouse be the primary recipient of the assets during their lifetime. Let her be taken care of. And then when she passes away, let the children be the beneficiaries. Let them take advantage or be the ones who get to enjoy the assets after, mama's gone. And
take advantage may not be take advantage may not be the
well, and then that's the thing. It's trying to come up with, part of it depends on and how much control the person in your office really wants to have over the assets. If they're comfortable saying, my wife and I have been married for 30 years, or my husband and I have been married for 30 years, if something happens to me, I'm absolutely comfortable with them just taking whatever it is I have, knowing that they'll put it to good use, when the time comes for them to pass it on. Some people are a little more concerned and say, well, I'm in a second marriage and I love my husband, but if something were to happen to me, I want him to be taken care of. But I want to make sure those assets that I've built over a number of years go to my children, not his. And so in that situation, a trust might be a good opportunity to say, let's let the husband be provided for during his lifetime. But let's also make sure that those assets come down to the kids. Because without a trust, if I just hand you the money, then you're under no legal obligation to make sure that they go to my kids. And there's pressures that come from everywhere. So that's another reason. There's a level of control and the desire to make sure the assets end up in a particular hands of somebody.